Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. My guest in studio, Clinton School Superintendent Curt Nettles. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Mr. Nettles, a shameless wave to the watching audience today. How are you, sir?
Good. I sometimes have to remember we're actually on camera now, and
It's all right.
people might actually be listening and watching.
Yeah. You think you've got fans that want to see you wave?
I have no fans.
Is that?
I was being friendly.
I didn't want to say that, but
Just being friendly.
I'm just kidding. You have fans, just probably not the ones watching. At any rate, let's talk this morning. You were telling us at the school board meeting last night, by the way, we follow up the Tuesday night Clinton Board of Education meeting. Not necessarily you, but Mr. Goebel was telling us about some things happening at the sports entrance starting this summer. What's going on there?
Yes, and so the sports entrance, which most people are familiar with because that's where you come through to go to the ball games and things like that. So we're updating that entrance with some brand new doors. They'll be handicapped accessible more so than they are. I think a lot of times we're relying on good people and good neighbors to hold doors and things like that. So that's going to be taken care of. So there'll be the push button doors that will open automatically. It will not be the, as Mr. Goebel calls them, the sliding Walmart doors like we have at the front of the high school. There, we really wouldn't have room, I don't think, to do that. So we'll have those set up. That'll happen in May, though. We got to wait till we're about done with school to get that taken care of. So, but we put the handicap parking spaces out close to right across from the CCF honor wall out there. So those that are handicapped can park right there, come straight in, and so for next season we'll have all that put together. Then the entrance over what we call junior hallway by the dumpsters, where kids walk in during the day. We're going to have new doors there as well.
It's so with that change, and I'm curious about, because that where people park for basketball kind of shares where they park for like football and baseball and track and all those things. It's not the worst parking lot I've been to. I'm not trying to say it is, but is there any plans to maybe pave the parking lot, mark it better, anything of that nature?
Yeah, there is a hope that will happen within the next couple of years.
Okay.
That is an extremely expensive project.
Oh, is it?
Yep. You know, the way it is right now, you can kind of grade that high school parking lot and do some things to it to make it better every few years, fill in holes. And we actually do mark it, but that doesn't last real long. Now, the new asphalt that came through last summer looks really great, holding up great, and that's all painted up nice. But it would be nice for the community to have that kind of paved parking lot out there. But that'll come at a cost. It's a little farther down on the priority list right now, but I hope that can be done.
Yeah, for sure. So with the sports entrance, like, is that part of this facilities plan we've been hearing about the last several years, or last couple of years, I guess?
Well, there's two things going on at the same time. The facilities plan, then we always have health, life, safety projects to do. And those are projects that our architect has to look at, has to apply to the State Board of Education for, and get the State Board to approve it. Then our board approves it, and away we go. And then we have a health, life, safety fund that we spend that money from to do those projects. So it's not part of the facilities plan, although it is a facilities upgrader project. It's just they're funded differently.
Okay.
Which is why we separate those things out.
Thank you for explaining that. Very good. When it comes to the sports entrance itself, any other upgrades or updates or anything like that coming in that part of the school building?
Nothing planned, nothing discussed at this point, so you'll have that. And of course, if you've been through there, you know we have the new screen for our veterans. That's on there. And the CCEF wall outside the doors is still there, and I know they're working hard to find somebody that will do the engraving, because we have some more engraving to do out there. We're just trying to find somebody to do that.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Very good. Yeah. So some exciting things happening. That'll be, you said, towards the end of school, and I don't imagine that project will take long.
I wouldn't think so. I think they can knock that out pretty quick.
All right. Very good. Clinton School Superintendent Curt Nettles, our guest in studio here for this morning. I thought I had another question around that, but I cannot remember now. Boy, I'm trying to think. I had something I wanted to throw out there, and I just can't remember. Oh, well. We'll move along. Talk a little bit about, let's see, tree removal on the west side of the sports complex. This was kind of I feel like a planned thing that you were going to do. So how about this?
Yeah, we've waffled back and forth on that since the first inception of that project. And we're not, I mean, we got drawings from an architect and ideas and estimates for like this huge football fancy complex a year and a half or so ago. And we've gone back and forth between the trees can stay, the trees need to go, we need to shift the field a little bit that way, we've gone back and forth. We just kind of bared down on that and got a definitive. So we are going to have to remove at least some of the trees, probably all of the trees, for a couple of reasons. One is that we will need the space because eventually the home bleachers will be built there, plus a press box, and you want to have the room to do any more expansion that the school board, the community might want to do. So you have to prepare that area for that. So removing those trees would be a part of that. The second reason to remove the trees is, the pine needles are a problem for the artificial surface. That's what we've been told by people that have the fields, by the company that produces the field. And with the new track going on as well, if you're out there and use the track regularly, on that west side especially, there's pine needles laying around, and sometimes they go out there with a blower and blow it off, but we've got the grass field right now. That's not as big a deal. So with the investment we're putting in out there, we want to make sure we take care of it well, and we don't have pine needles down into the playing surface. And we have a groomer that will be running across the field to pull things out and dress it up, but they say that thing is not very effective on pine needles. So I don't think you want to have an investment like that and then have something that can
certainly not right away. Yeah, certainly not right away when you just put it in fresh. So it kind of felt like those were going to have to come out anyways with moving the bleachers to the other side.
It's just it would have been a tight squeeze, and it would have been you would have been right up against them if they were kept, and maybe skimped a little bit on the bleachers in the press box, and then you're just going to have issues with the trees being right there. So,
do you have senior parking? Not like senior citizen, like your seniors in high school parking.
No. First come, first serve.
Oh, okay.
Although some schools do that.
They do. When I was in high school, I got the number one senior parking spot. You got time for that story? It's pretty funny.
I would like to know how you got that.
Yeah. So, okay, I was not a good student, as you know. So, and many people know.
You were well behaved.
I did my best. So, when registration came time for school, that's when you got your senior parking spot. And Lincoln High School only had a certain amount, and our class was pretty big. So I had to work in the morning, and I got there in the afternoon for the afternoon session, and I was literally one person too late for a senior parking spot. So they said, we'll put you on a waiting list. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I was like kind of resigned to the fact I wasn't going to have a senior parking spot, which wasn't a big deal because I didn't really care that much. So the first day of school, I got called to the office. And I'm thinking, it's the first day of school. I didn't even do anything. I haven't been called to the office in 4 years, and here I am going to the office on the first day of school. So the secretary sits me down, and she says, hey, you were on a waiting list for a senior parking spot. Here you go. And I look at it, and it's number one. And the thing was, at Lincoln High School, the way the parking lot lays out, spots 1 through 5 were right there at the building. And then the other ones kind of filled in behind and up the parking lot and everything. So I'm right there at the building. I'm like, what the heck happened? She goes, there was a dispute. You go ahead and take the spot. I'm like, okay. I come to find out 2 kids had, I don't know how much of this I should say on the radio. One kid had used his family connections to get the number one spot who worked in the school. A kid came in after him, and he wanted the number one spot, and he got mad when he found out kid number one used his. And it, like, I didn't understand what the difference was. 1 and 2 are literally in the same spot. I didn't understand what it was. They fought over it. They won. I get spot number 1.
That's cool. So when we're off the air, I want to know the names.
I'll tell you the names, and you'll know the names.
I will know the names.
You'll know the names for sure.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was very. What do they call that? Is that like a hijinks, I guess? I don't know. Anyways, that was kind of funny. So I had spot number 1 in high school. Very good. Curt Nettles, Superintendent of Clinton Schools, our guest on the phone for this morning. Let's see. I'm looking at your agenda from the Tuesday night Board of Education meeting. Let's talk for a few minutes about camera footage for the police department.
Yeah.
Tell us about this.
Well, we are fortunate enough to have a police department, and I hope most communities do, a police department that is all in on all things security for Clinton schools. And working with Chief Flowers, I know I kid about Chief Flowers, but he is actually okay to work with from time to time. But the department has a great concern, as does the sheriff's department, about the well-being of the school district. So we've kept our camera system inside the building and outside the building up to date. Since I've been here in 9 years, we've done like 3 different things. And lately, we upgraded again. We added cameras. We have a really good system in place, and we're able to track and monitor a lot of things if we need to. The outside cameras pick up a lot of things, and really, the community should know that. It's like anywhere you go, there's cameras on traffic lights and on poles and things like that, especially in bigger cities. But, we have cameras out and about too. So we want the police department to have access to those things. So actually, on all of our camera systems with all of our buildings, the police have access to that. That's going to help in a security situation. That's going to help if we need them. They can be calling up live feeds for whatever building instantly. Our SRO, Cody Mayer, has the ability to do that. Any of the officers do. They can call it up at the station as well as in their squad cars as they're approaching and things like that. That's a great help.
Yeah.
Also, on the cameras outside, from time to time, our cameras may pick up things that are going on in and around the neighborhood or our school system. And while it's not related to school, it might be a crime. It might be something that the police need to use to investigate. So we are sharing that with them. The community should know that if the police are investigating a crime or investigating something that they're concerned about, or as a matter of prosecution, I believe, we're giving them that footage. They can have access to it. So basically, I sent them a letter giving them permission. So if there's a crime been committed in the neighborhood of one of the schools and they think our camera footage may have picked something up, they have access to it. They'll probably let us know they're using it, but they have all the permission in the world to use that from us. So we think that's part of our vision statement of being a dynamic community partner. I think that's going to help our communities to be safer. It's going to help the police department do investigations, help the state's attorney's office if necessary.
So don't pull your shenanigans. That's Clinton Schools then. You're on camera.
Do not. And we are quick to let the police look at the footage. So,
in all seriousness, how often do you need the cameras, or do you utilize those?
We will utilize cameras inside if there's an incident. Could be a squabble, a scuffle with a couple of kids, or if we're worried about where somebody is, or if there's damage to something, we'll go back and look at the footage and see. No one has time to sit and just stare at cameras. We don't do that. We don't have time to do that.
Should hire somebody to do that.
And I'm glad we don't have to, really. Knock wood. Hopefully you have a good day, but we don't have to sit and actually do that. But we will occasionally go back and do that. Sometimes we got to look at the high school parking lot, because somebody got a little too excited out there and got on it a little bit or did something. But we monitor the high school parking lot after school every day, by the way. So, so there are times where we go back and look at things.
How's Officer Mayer doing, by the way?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
He's, the thing is, Mike Bennett's Mike Bennett. Cody Mayer is not Mike Bennett, but Cody Mayer is a great SRO. When we interviewed him last spring in preparation for replacing Mike, we came away from the interview feeling really good. His experience, his relatability to kids, his ability to make relationships, his background, and everything he did before law enforcement has been a great benefit to him and to us. So. And he works hard. I will tell you that he stays on things. He's been just a great benefit for us.
Cool. Good deal.
Yeah.
Anything else on that particular topic?
Nope, I think that's all I got.
Well, let's take a break. Come back with some more Clinton Schools. Curt Nettles, Clinton Schools Superintendent Curt Nettles, in studio with us this morning. More to come with him on The Morning Show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Wednesday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network. Corn starting the day slightly lower, beans double-digit lower, and wheat also in the red to begin this Wednesday. March corn opening $4.42, down a penny and a half. May corn down 2 pennies, $4.53 and a quarter. And December new crop $4.74 and 3/4, down 2 1/2. March beans $12.12, down 15 and a quarter. May beans down 14 and 3/4, $12.23 and 3/4. November new crop $11.90, that's down 11 and a quarter. March wheat starting today $5.81 and a half, down half a penny. May wheat down 2 pennies, $5.94. July wheat $6.02 and a half, down 2 3/4. March bean meal $365.30, that's down $5.80, and March bean oil $47.04, down 21 cents. Opening numbers on this Wednesday morning. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
We are celebrating winter here at Baum Chevrolet Buick. This is Scott Baum in Clinton and Farmer City. Start the new year off with a new Chevy Silverado. We have the right Silverado to get your hauling and towing jobs done, like our 1500s, 2500s, and 3500s in gas or diesel with several trim levels, custom, LT, LTZ, or even high country. Celebrate winter today. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. CEO Paul Scarron reminding you our walk-in clinic inside our family medicine building will treat your flu symptoms without an appointment. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
For the latest in Central Illinois agricultural news, visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Get updated information on markets, weather, ag news, local interviews with NAFB farm broadcaster Jared White, and much, much more. All at IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, and good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in this segment of the show is Mr. Curt Nettles, Superintendent of Clinton Schools. And Mr. Nettles, I am sure there is a good contingent of folks out there that have a bone to pick with you this morning that you made our kids go to school today. I told you at the school board meeting, you would never have made me go to school in this. Never made me and my poor sisters walk through the snow, bike from Mayfair to the junior high. You would never have done that to us.
And I pointed out to you that at that point in time in my career, I was not responsible for calling school off. So that was
You
my
weren't?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Kidd did that.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, still, you wouldn't have done that to us. I know that. I'm just kidding with you.
I know.
So talk about school today, in all seriousness.
Well, today, compared to yesterday, it's a balmy 10 degrees out there. I mean, good grief. It's like
let's break out the.
I could actually notice the difference. Though.
Let's break out the baseball gloves and
Yeah.
Throw on the hoodies and play some catch.
Inside these days.
Yeah.
But, so Sunday afternoon, we had gone to Bloomington to go to church, gone to Sam's Club afterward, and I just know going into Sam's, when my wife and I left Sam's to get walk through the parking lot to get to our car, my hands haven't hurt that bad from cold. I don't know how long. Mm-hmm. That was crazy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then I was just thinking, thank goodness we had MLK Day, the holiday. We had school off Monday anyway because we would have canceled Monday. Mm-hmm. But the wind chill warning, I mean, there's a difference between a warning and an advisory. Warning's obviously stronger. So in looking at the warning going all the way through Tuesday noon, there's no way. And there was so much discussion about it among the region of superintendents, should we do things Monday night? I'm like, the warning is all the way through Tuesday noon. We got no business being out, whether it's Monday night or whenever. So I actually called off for Tuesday somewhere between 10:30 and 11 a.m. Monday. Mm-hmm. And
you did it early.
I actually was maybe the first one to call off?
I had gotten Hayworth's, I think, before yours.
Okay.
Just before, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I got
Well, good
Dr.
for-
Taylor's.
It just, the logic we always use to determine if we're going to call school off was there right in front of us. I didn't see any point in worrying about it the entire day or parents having to worry about it. So
Yeah, you know,
let's just get it done.
It's funny because Jared came in yesterday and we were talking at one point in the morning, and I noticed it. Like I went to lunch, came back. I felt like coming back into the building around like 11:30 that it was colder then than it was when I got there. And then Jared made the same comment when he had come back from lunch a little bit later.
Wind may have been blowing a little harder.
yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah.
it was cold yesterday, no question. So
It absolutely was. And you've got to think, today is no picnic.
I was going to say, but this morning it was really cold. Like I even thought this morning was rather chilly.
We talk about a sustained wind chill of -20 being the problem.
Okay.
And especially if there's a wind chill warning. So we're not going to have kids out walking to the end of their lanes or sitting at a bus stop, walking to the bus stop. Some kids might have to walk to school. I don't know what everybody's situation is. We got crossing guards out there, and bless the hearts of the crossing guards. They were out there this morning. As far as I know one came into the office to get something, and they do a great job. Very unsung heroes in my book. Buses were ready to go. I want to give a compliment to Eric Smith at the bus garage. He yesterday worked on things to make sure we were going to be ready for this morning. I texted him at 5:15 this morning, and he sent me back a picture immediately. Every bus out there in the lot was running, the lights were on, and it was still dark,
Yeah.
He took that picture and sent it to me.
The
That's a
exhaust
really-
coming out of the pipes.
It's a cool picture. So
So
we're
why
ready
not-
to go. Everything was warm.
Yeah.
We want the buses to have a good hour and a half or so of sitting there running, being warm. We typically, I didn't ask Eric this, but in the past, we've always had an extra bus just sitting on the lot running
in case.
in case a bus has a breakdown or something. That bus is already warm. Somebody gets on it and gets out to
Yeah.
where they need to be.
Question: why go through with activities last night but not Monday? Particularly, some of Mondays were in the afternoon.
Again, I go back to the National Weather Service lifted the wind chill warning.
Okay.
Still very cold. Still don't want to be out there. But the frostbite thing, it takes a lot longer to get frostbite than people think. But we're never going to have kids exposed for 30 minutes.
Okay.
We made sure the buses we had were good, the strongest ones or whatever. And, if we're hosting an event like we did last night for wrestling and whatnot, if school calls and says, hey, we're not coming, that's fine. They
Yeah.
don't have to come. We'll reschedule.
Sure. Mr. Nettles, thanks for going through that with
Sure.
us. We'll talk to you again soon. Curt Nettles, Clinton School Superintendent, our guest in studio.
WHOW.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton 92.3 FM.